Welcome, everyone, to another wonderful Shining Through Your Words series, proudly brought to you by Write and Shine Media House. My name is Magriet Potgieter. I'm the host of this very, very special series and totally inspired by incredible guests like Teresa joining me today. Teresa, please will you introduce yourself and also tell us a little bit more about your latest book?
Oh, well, thank you for having me. And my latest book is Raising Kind Children. It's encouraging parents to be the CEO of the family, take your philosophy and values and instill it into your children and into your family. The way I got started in this was through a school shooting. And I had written, and God put this on my heart. And dear students, and I grieved with them and sympathized with them. uh, I, then I said, you know what? You can do something. You can make a difference, you little person. And just do that by, sitting with that child that's sitting alone at lunch.
Yes.
You don't know, you might make a new friend. Or when someone drops their books and their pencils, don't laugh, help them pick them up
Yes.
and go with that. So just little things like that. And then I didn't know what to do with it. So I sat on it for like a year. and and then I've got the idea to do a 21-day kindness challenge on my Facebook
I love it.
channel. And that was fun because that was just any person that your child encountered during their day. So you start with your parents, the bus driver, carpool driver, principals, teachers, cafeteria workers, etc. And each day they had to be kind to that person. And I
Aw.
gave them ideas. Well, and I did, and I got into some schools, and it was great. And then COVID hit, and we all landed at home in front of our computers. So we're on social media more than I have ever been, and I'm sure that's the same for everybody. And I just noticed, started to really pay attention to what people were posting. And these are adults posting nasty, nasty, cruel things to each
Yeah.
other. I was just stunned. I didn't know it was that bad. And I'm thinking, is your child angry? And what I found out is that, yes, your child does read your social media. They watch
Mm.
what you put out there. If for no other reason to begin with, they watch to make sure you're not posting about them. They
Yes.
don't want you
True.
posting about them. And but then they read it, and then you wonder why your child is cyberbullying someone. So I
Exactly.
said, okay, yeah. So then that's when I switched my focus from kids to parents, started the CEO, but knew I had to make it simple. The process that had to be included had to be simple because parents are so busy and they don't need anything else piled on top of their plate.
Yes.
And I came up with this process, and then everybody's write it down, write it down. Okay. So I didn't jump right into writing the book. I will be honest. I resisted it. I just the thought of having to sit down, write something that made sense to everybody
Yes.
just overwhelmed my little brain. And I cannot be the only one that feels that way when it comes to writing a book.
It's
And
exhausting. It really is.
it
So I'm
was.
just seeing all the sun shining in on my face. If it doesn't bother you.
It doesn't bother me. I said, you're glowing. You're
Let's
glowing. The
go
sun
with
is
it.
with us. It might bother your eyes.
Like I'm okay. I'm just seeing the stripe, but if you're like okay
It's,
with it and it doesn't glare into your
yeah,
eyes or anything, then I'm good with it. Maybe it's the kindness that's
it
pretty
is all the
over.
kindness shining through.
But let's go. You see why you're an author, Teresa. But I want to backtrack a little, because
Sure.
this is all about the behind the pages, the why. And
Hmm.
it sounds like this book almost was something that you didn't look for. It's like it found you. If you look at that
Yeah,
pivotal moment that you spoke about, that I do want to like just for a moment, almost in honor of victims. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but that must have been quite an eye-opener and a scary a reality of what children are facing. We all are very passionate about giving voice to the voiceless. So if you can, describe that moment.
that moment, really, I truly believe that God put that on my heart. And he
Yes.
said, I want you to do something. And that's how it started. Just,
Wow.
I listened to God talking to me and I actually obeyed him this time. Don't always do that.
Yes.
And wrote that letter. But then I wasn't paying attention and that's why I sat on it for as long as I
Wow.
did.
That's
So yeah, it just,
amazing.
yeah. And I can honestly say, why that particular school shooting, because there were some before, then some since, I don't know. But I was encouraged, and I do believe it was from God to write stuff down.
Yes. No, that's absolutely amazing. And I do want to stop and pause for a moment the word kindness, because I always say for me to work with me, or if I work with you, kindness is my compass. Are you kind to others? Are you kind to the waiter? Are you kind, to yourself even? That is such a big moral compass for me. How do you describe kindness? Is it something you can learn? Is it something you're born with?
Something, first of all, um, again, with God, Ephesians 4:32, he told us to be kind and compassionate to one
Yes.
another, right in that verse. So you take that from there, and then I think it's something you have to practice. We are all on our phones or on our devices, and we can be walking down the street and never see the 100 people you passed.
Yes.
So it has to be practiced. It has to be intentional. When you get up in the morning, you have to know this is what I'm going to do today. And this is where I'm going. So I'm going to look for ways to be kind. And I always use the grocery store because 90% of us actually go into the grocery store.
Yes.
And it starts with that shopping cart, which is the bane of my existence, in the middle of the parking space.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, it does it not. When you're ready, when you're in a hurry, and you think about this, I'm a busy mom with 3 kids in the car, and there's that coveted close spot to the door, and you go
Yes.
to pull in, and there's a shopping cart there. It just it's so frustrating, and I can only, and well, my kids are now grown, but the little ones, and you're like, gosh, now I have to get out of the car. I got to move the car if I want that coveted spot. So I just say to parents out there, be kind to the next parent pulling into
Exactly.
that spot. Put the cart back in the corral, take it back to the store, whatever. And if you see one in a spot and you're heading for the door, take that cart in with you.
I love it.
Yes. And this is one of my favorite examples of something that's very simple. Simple. It doesn't cost a thing to be kind. Also, part
Yes.
of that is that I was coming around the corner to the produce section. We've all been there. We've got the screaming toddler in the cart, and you're trying to get that darn produce bag open.
Yes.
You could just see it. You just see it on her face. It was, I just have to get 2 things, and then I can get here. And she just couldn't get it open. And a gentleman saw and came over, took the bag from her, opened the
Aw.
bag, handed it back. The
Yes.
woman's face, you have just lifted the world off my shoulders. She
Oh,
was so relieved. Even the child stopped crying.
I love it.
It's just the relief. And he just turned her whole day around. And that's what kindness is,
I love
doing
it.
something very simple for others and making their day better. And in turn, you make your day better.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of being kind. It's like you always think you're doing something for someone, but at the end of the day, you are being blessed by it. How interesting is
Yes.
it?
And there are scientific studies
Please
about that.
share. Please share.
It's okay. If you and I share an act of kindness, your serotonin levels go up, and so do mine.
Okay.
Serotonin are your happy hormones.
Ooh,
So now, from one act of kindness, we're happy, and our day is going to go even better.
mm.
But the fascinating thing is, anybody that sees that act of kindness, their serotonin levels also go up.
Oh,
So,
wow.
from one act of kindness, we created a ripple that affected a whole room full of people.
I love that. I love
Yes.
that. But with that, also what a responsibility as parents, to be
Hmm.
the example. Because I remember when my son was growing up, I did nonprofit work full time. And I had the honor to raise him basically going to projects. It's like a breathing for us, but it's not for everyone, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. But you can be. I also, and that was a big lesson I had to learn is you don't have to stand on a big stage to be kind. It starts in your house with the people
Yeah.
closest to you.
Yes. And and when you start if you want your kid's day to start off right,
Yes.
have a note on the bathroom mirror, you're important.
Mm.
Or, hey, they have the big math test they've been studying all week for. Put a note in their backpack on their math book and say, you got this.
I like it.
Just those things. Your spouse, put an I love you sticky note on their coffee mug.
Yes.
And
Amazing.
it just simple. And that's just before you even walk outside the house.
Yes, exactly. And what would you say, Teresa, for anyone tuning in today and they think it's not possible for them? They choose not like
You
it's
know,
effort.
and some if you're saying that, then your kindness tank is empty.
Mm,
So you have to do something for you.
I love that.
So whether that be I need to get up 15 minutes early and just have that quiet time with my cup of coffee, 15 minutes before anybody else gets up.
Mhm.
Have that quiet prayer meditation time just for you. Or when at the end of the day, when it's all quiet inside, everybody else has gone to bed, take the hot bubble bath. Just take time for you. It's different for everybody. What's
Yes,
going to fill your kindness tank up?
I love
Somebody
it.
just said, I just saw earlier today, they said, my kindness to myself, I got an hour nap. Now I'm ready to go.
Love it. And it's needed. You
Yes.
can't pour from an empty
Yes.
cup. You really can't.
Yeah. No, it's hard. It's not always easy. That's why I say you have to be intentional and plan it.
Yes,
And you have to practice it. It can be just as simple as a smile and good morning.
I love
It
it.
doesn't have to be the big grand. Don't overwhelm yourself with thinking, okay, I have to do a food drive. No, you don't.
Yes.
It'd be great. You can work up to that. Um, you start small.
I love that. And interestingly enough, I do believe we are all born with our gifts. If I look back when I was in primary school, I actually wrote notes. I don't know where it came from. I wrote like encouraging notes to people, old age people that I felt was alone in our street. For example, I would make little bookmarks with the flowers on it. Nobody, like, I just did it. That was but I'm so glad I cultivated that gift because now I write full time, encouraging and
Yeah.
inspiration.
Yes. Oh no, it's great. I know. I'm just something simple. I was on a little mini road trip and I went into the bathroom and somebody had wrote on the bathroom mirror, enjoy your journey.
Ah, there
And I
you
thought that was
go.
so sweet. But it's just little things like that
Mm,
that really could help somebody else and you don't even know it.
exactly. What would you say to anyone that wants to buy your book that is deciding, okay, they want to join this 21-day challenge? It feels a bit overwhelming. What advice would you give them?
That it's not. Again, I've really focused on keeping it simple for the busy parents.
Amazing.
Yes. And, and the book has the process in it on how to just start working through everyday activities that you encounter, whether it be at home, on the soccer field, at the grocery store, at the mall, wherever you end up. And that's how the process starts. And once you've practiced and you've gotten kind of got it, then it goes into ways to be kind in those awkward, not so fun situations.
Yes,
And that's where I think process and being kind really pays off,
I love
that
that.
we're not starting needless arguments.
I love it. And kindness is such a sorry again for the sun. It's never happened. Never. It's very interesting that I'm
I do love it though.
learning so much today when we're talking about kindness. It's actually very, very, it's weird and good at the same time. But it's interesting for me, Teresa, how kindness also is linked with bullying and stuff like that. It's the opposite. And you
It
did mention
is.
that briefly, as I do believe if we can create kind cultures, at work, at school, all the stressful situations almost, if you have kindness in the core of it all, what a difference it would make to a lot of very sensitive topics and situations.
Yes. And I said, I'm going to use this and you can decide whether you want to keep it in or not. But right now, this week, politics. If you
Yeah.
know someone is dead set on this side and you're dead set on this side, why talk about it? You're not
Yes.
going to change each other's mind. You're just going to sit there and argue and then be angry with each other that could last years. Why?
It's relevant.
What
We
is,
keep it in. We keep it in. It's
yes,
very relevant across the world, actually. There's a lot of
yeah. But I think
conversations.
we have to think, is it more important to be right or to be kind?
Ah, what a good quote. What a good quote.
You know, answer that question whenever you're coming against controversial situations. Now, mind you, when you're in business, there are times where you have to have those tough, nitty gritty conversations.
Yes.
And sometimes I've been in the room where it's gotten so contentious that, take a break. I'll
Yes.
see you in an hour.
Yes.
So it gives everybody time to just settle down
Exactly.
and come back and approach it differently in a more constructive way. And then,
Right.
because if you're yelling at each other, you're not going to solve anything.
And
And so
also,
that, I know somebody
exactly.
told me they had uncles at a wedding reception. What I forget what the topic was, but they told them ahead of time, don't talk about this.
Mm,
Okay. They did. And they almost came to blows and ruined that couple's wedding day.
yeah, it's not worth
Was
it.
was it worth it?
It's not worth
Just want to,
it.
was it worth it?
Exactly. And that's why, I see kindness as a superpower overall. And like I said to you, a deal breaker. Unkindness, I think if we can pause here for a little while, it's unkindness is hurting someone else, it's breaking them down. How would you also describe unkindness, the opposite of kindness?
Um, oh, just what's a good way? What's a good word for that? Um, it's not, it is showing that you always have to be right, that it's your way or the highway.
Yes.
Um, just you because you feel you are superior, and sometimes you feel inferior. So in order to feel superior, you have
Ah,
to be unkind to somebody.
yes.
That happens a great deal. So that, yeah, that's what I think of when I think of unkind. You're just, yeah, not you're just thinking only of yourself or trying to lift yourself up by
Yes.
knocking someone else down.
I would also say in isolation, you isolate yourself. An unkind person is not someone people would like to spend time with overall.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah,
almost sad, when it stems from
it's
other hurt and traumas and stuff that you have to act out in such a way.
yes, yeah. It's, but that's why you have to be intentional about your kindness
I
so
love
that
that.
you don't go, because it is easy. I mean, how many times have you gotten roped into an argument and you all of a sudden you're like, how did I get here? I was, you didn't even have it. And I love this quote by W.C. Fields. He says, just because you're invited to an argument doesn't mean you have to attend.
Love it. Love it.
Yes,
And it's
yes.
so true. And Teresa, for our people that's tuning in today, what challenge are you giving us to do?
Well, let me just, I want you to practice this because I think it does take practice.
Yes, I
Is
agree.
that you can start at home and do the sticky note things with your family members, but once you leave the house,
Ah,
practice just, this is it. Smile and say good morning, hello, whatever to every person you see. And and then watch the reaction
I've tried
because
that.
I did this. I did this. I walk on a walking trail here
Yes.
every morning. And I just said for one solid week I did that. I swear people were like shocked. They were like, huh? They looked up like, did you talk to
Yes.
me? And I'm
Yes.
thinking, does no one say hi to anybody? It's really so. I want to hear what your reactions you
Challenge
receive are
accepted.
because
I will do that again because I remember because I moved from one space to another, and some towns are very friendly here in South
Mhm.
Africa, but some are not as, open and laid back and friendly. So I came from a very open and laid back space, and hey, everyone greets each other, and to a new place where nobody, people does look at you like, what? What do you
Yes.
want?
And I did this also once when I was walking. I walk with my little dog. She's cute. Everybody wants to pet her.
Yes.
So this one woman, we were going down steps, and she said, "Oh, can I pet your dog?" Sure. Well, she perceived it wasn't pet your dog. It was let's sit down. The dog climbs in her lap,
Oh my
and then
word.
she starts to pet it, and then she starts to cry, and I'm like, "Oh, what did I step in?" And here, as she spoke, and I'm petting the dog, or she's petting the dog. She had lost her husband 6 months ago,
Oh my
and
goodness.
then lost her own dog about a month ago. And it just broke I'm almost standing there crying. And then she
Yes.
finally gets up and just says, "Thank you so much. You don't know what that did for me." So
Oh,
I think that's something else we have to keep in mind.
yes.
You don't know what the other person's going through. Personal
Exactly.
pain, it's as unique as a fingerprint. So just remember to always be kind.
No, I love that. I love that so much, Teresa. Like I'm choking up because it's so true. And it really is to look at each other with grace and kindness and just compassion, humor.
Yes.
We weren't
Yes.
created to ignore each other and to live these lives with the cell phones and the stuff. We weren't created to do
Right.
that full time. It's a
Yeah.
communication tool.
That's part of that challenge. Look up from your phone while you're walking down the
When you,
street or wherever.
when you say hi, sorry, this just sorry, I just got a call. I don't know why that happened, but sorry, that was the phone chipping in now. Can you believe it?
See, it's telling us ignore us.
Like this interview is so special. We've got the special effects everywhere that we didn't
I
plan.
love it. I
But
love it. I love it.
it is true. It's like that phones that takes away. It takes you out of the moment. It takes your eyes away from the person on the opposite. It really is not good if you look at
It's not,
communication skill to one human to another.
it is. And I can tell you my writing process for this book, when I finally said, okay, I'm going to do it. I live in Ohio. My brother lives out in Tucson, Arizona, and
Okay.
he needed a house sitter, dog sitter while they went on a trip. I said, okay, I'll come out. Well, it was an exchange of kindness because I actually ended up spending a month out there, and
Oh,
I wrote my book in this beautiful scenery, pool, the cactus, the
amazing.
whole desert. It was just stunning. And I said, I think some of that filtered into the book a little bit because it was, but we exchanged an act of kindness, and out of that ended up coming out finished
Exactly.
product of the book.
No, I love that so much. Teresa, if anyone wants to come in contact with you or buy this incredible book, how can they reach you?
They can reach me at journeyandkindness.com. And there's a free download there as well, 75 acts of kindness that you can practice with your children that will help you be intentional. And my book is also on Amazon.
That's amazing. I would love to invite you back for a follow-up,
I
maybe
would love
beginning of the year, that we can set attention for this incredible community of kindness. I would absolutely be honored if you would join me again.
Oh, I would love to. Absolutely.
And thank you so much for this incredible story and bringing, something that was so, so, so sad and, turning that around to see, how you can help others not to go through the same. I really honor that.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Sorry about all the special effects that you can't make up on your own. Me shining on one stage, the light on kindness, and then the phone popping up. It's never happened. So I'm going to leave it as is because I do think this is an incredibly special episode for you who don't feel seen, heard, understood, that the world is unkind to you. I do really want to encourage you through Teresa's words as well to be kind to yourself. Even if you write a sticky note to yourself, be kind and
Mhm.
just remember you are worthy. You are worthy to be loved. You are worthy to be seen and heard. And kindness is a superpower. I really do believe that. So let's spread kindness like confetti. Thank you, Teresa, for joining us. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Keep on shining and keep on writing.
Just watch me shine.